Let's talk about some positives for wide receivers this week. And you've got a few on your list, even a rookie on here.
Jaylen Waddle's been great. I mean, I know how good Jamar Chase was earlier in the year, but Jaylen Waddle has been every bit as good, if not better, lately than the Bengals rookie. And you look at the numbers, I mean, 19 targets. He's seen a near 30% target share among Dolphins wide receivers over the last couple of games. And he's got the Giants this week. They've allowed 12 touchdowns and the 9th most fantasy points per game to wide receivers. So even if Devontae Parker can come back this week, I'm still starting Jaylen Waddle. And Hunter Renfrow, I love him, right? Every single week, he gives you a very solid floor. He's played very well, 17 plus fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 games. Remember, Darren Waller's not playing this week, and the matchup's right against the Washington football team. They've allowed the 5th most fantasy points per game to opposing slot receivers. So keep Renfrow in your lineup. I also like Michael Pittman Jr. and Brandon Cooks in that Colts-Texans game. And oh, by the way, if you want to go really deep, T.Y. Hilton owns Houston. He could be a fun DFS bargain.
Owns Houston, and he's on a lot of waiver wires, so I absolutely love that call. You also like Brandon Ayuk, and I adore that call. For those of you that hung on to Brandon Ayuk, enjoy it. You know, no Deebo Samuel for a couple weeks. Surely Brandon Ayuk will continue to have a couple good games and make up for the tough start he gave you to the season. All right, at the wideout position, who stays on the bench?
Again, these are more of beware than anything else. If you have depth, you can sit them. But Mike Williams, I mean, he has failed to score more than 7.8 fantasy points in 5 of his last 6 games. And the one game where he had a good stat line, it was all about a blown coverage by the Steelers that resulted in a long touchdown, and the Steelers' defensive backfield was all banged up, right? So Williams has not been good for more than a month. And this week, he's got the Bengals. They've allowed just 7 touchdowns to wide receivers this season, so temper your expectations for Mike Will. And then Elijah Moore, who I really liked last week. Unfortunately, his quarterback is Zach Wilson, and he's not very good right now. And even with the Jets being banged up at the wide receiver position, I am concerned about Moore against the Eagles and Darius Slay. That defense has allowed the 3rd fewest points per game to wide receivers, including the 2nd fewest points per game to receivers lined out wide. So Elijah Moore is a risk. I'm also benching Cortland Sutton, who has disappeared in the last month or so, and Jacoby Myers against the Bills.